Elias once lived a peaceful life. A skilled woodsman and tracker, he settled in Velmir with his beloved wife, Mira, and their 8-year-old son, Callan. Their life was modest but full of love, until one stormy night when he returned from a hunting trip to find their home burned and his family gone. No bodies. Only a strange sigil burned into the hearthstone. A symbol he'd later learn belonged to a shadowy faction known as the Hollow Path, a group trafficking in magic and bloodlines. Elias follows a trail of fragmented clues across ruined cities, ancient forests, and desolate highlands. He speaks with smugglers, witches, and exiled scholars, piecing together that his son may possess latent magical abilities. The reason the Hollow Path took him. As his journey progresses, Elias transforms. He becomes less of the man he was and more of the hunter he needs to be. The line between mercy and vengeance grows thin, and he fears what he might become if he finds them too late. A fog-shrouded forest at dusk, crows wheel overhead, the burned-out shell of a caravan smolders nearby. Elias kneels beside a corpse, a merchant, throat cut. His fingers touch the charred wood of a wagon and find a small pendant, identical to one his wife wore. His breath catches. Suddenly, a snap behind him. Bandits, hired by the Hollow Path to clean up evidence. 3 of them, blades drawn. Elias rolls backward into the underbrush. An arrow flies. He moves fast, using trees as cover, outthinking rather than overpowering. A well-placed tripwire pulls one down. Another falls to a swift arrow through the throat. The third flees into the forest. Elias lets him run, knowing fear is a message of its own. He pockets the pendant. His hands shake. They're close. The ruins of an underground temple beneath the desert sands, half buried in dust and bones. Whispers echo as Elias descends into the dark with only a lantern and blade. He finds signs of the Hollow Path, an altar smeared in old blood, symbols matching the one burned into his hearthstone. Suddenly, a guardian stirs, a reanimated priest, bound to the altar by dark sorcery. It lashes out with unnatural speed. Elias fights in tight quarters, ducking under sweeping bone claws, using the columns for cover. He breaks a vial of fire oil and ignites the altar mid-fight, weakening the creature. A final thrust of his blade into the Guardian's hollow eye ends it. As it crumbles, Elias finds a child's drawing tucked beneath the altar. Callan's. Proof he was here. Hope flickers in his chest. A moonlit bridge over a storm-swollen river. A convoy of slavers is crossing, with children in cages. Elias ambushes from the cliffs. One quick arrow takes out the lead horse. Chaos erupts. Gods shout, children scream. He slides down the embankment into the fray. Arrows, fists, and blood. One slaver tries to use a child as a shield. Elias hesitates only a breath before shooting through the man's leg. In the end, he frees the cages. One girl, no older than Callan, whispers, "They said they took the others east." to the fortress with no windows. Elias watches the freed children disappear into the forest with local villagers. He walks alone into the night, his blade still dripping. A black fortress carved into the side of a cliff. Snow falls silently as Elias approaches under a blood-red moon. Inside, he finds Mira in chains, gaunt but alive. Her eyes fill with fire when she sees him. She rasps, "They have Callan. They try to make him one of them." A dark-robed cultist emerges, flanked by summoned horrors. It's the most brutal battle yet. Elias fights through pain, blood loss, and magic. His bow breaks. He switches to his knife. He takes a dagger in the shoulder, but drives his own deep into the cultist's gut, whispering, "That was for her." He frees Mira. Together they follow the sound of a boy's voice calling for help, just beyond the next chamber. Deep within the hollow fortress, a circular room lit by floating blue flames. Runes pulse across the black stone walls. In the center stands a young boy, Callan, inside a binding circle etched into the floor. Elias bursts in, Mira limping behind him. He stops dead. Callan is older than Elias remembers, not just in years but in presence. The boy's eyes glow faintly with a cold silver light. His voice is calm, distant. "Father," he says, "you shouldn't have come." A hooded figure steps from the shadows, the true master of the hollow path. He gestures toward Callan. He's special. His mind survived the rites. His power surpasses even mine. He chose to stay. Callan looks down, conflicted. Elias approaches the edge of the binding circle. Any closer and the spell will kill him. Elias drops his weapon. "You didn't choose this. They made you believe you did. That power means isolation. That fear is strength. But we are still your home, Callan." For a long moment, silence. Then Callan's fingers twitch. The glowing runes dim. The spell falters. The cult leader snarls and lashes out with a wave of shadow, but Elias leaps in front of it, taking the brunt. Blood, pain. Callan screams, and something within him erupts. The room shatters with a blast of raw magic. When the dust clears, the cultist is gone, ash in the wind. The binding circle is broken. Callan runs to his parents. He's crying, shaking. "I didn't want to forget you, but they made me forget. They made me hurt people." Elias embraces him. "We'll fix it, all of it, together." Callan is no longer just a boy. Something inside him remains changed, powerful, volatile, and marked by the hollow path's influence. He is quiet. Sometimes he wakes screaming. Sometimes the air trembles when he cries. Elias and Mira don't fully understand what Callan is becoming. But Elias knows one thing. He is ours, and whatever darkness clings to him, we'll fight it every step of the way. The road home is long, but this time they walk it together. A high mountain pass days after escaping the hollow fortress. Snow glitters on the peaks, but the valley below is green, quiet, and full of birdsong. A small fire crackles beside a lone pine. Elias wakes before dawn, as he always does, but today the silence isn't full of dread. It's full of breath, life. He turns and sees Mira still sleeping, wrapped in a blanket near the fire. Her hand rests protectively on Callan's back. The boy's chest rises and falls in slow, steady rhythm. His face, in the morning light, is softer now. Some of the shadow is gone. He even murmurs in his sleep, something about climbing trees. Elias smiles, a small, rare thing. He quietly pulls out a worn wooden carving, a little wolf he'd once made for Callan years ago. He had carried it through fire and blood and doubt. He lays it beside the boy. Later, as the sun crests the peaks, Callan wakes. He blinks blearily at the world, then sees the carving. His fingers close around it. "You kept it," he whispers. Elias nods. "I kept everything I could." Mira stirs. She pulls her son into her arms, and Elias joins them. For the first time in what feels like 100 lifetimes, they hold each other with no urgency, no running, just warmth. Callan presses his face into Elias's chest. "I had dreams about this," he says, "but I didn't think it was real." Elias kisses the top of his head. "This is real. We're real, and no one will ever take you from us again." Above them, the wind rustles through the trees like a lullaby. Below, a river sparkles in the valley, promising a future unknown, but theirs. And for the first time in years, the Thorn family watches the sunrise together, smiling, whole.